Let me be real with you right now, straight up. Nobody cares about your excuses, not one bit. And they never will. And the sooner you get that through your head, the sooner you'll stop living your life like you've got time to waste. Like you've got pity waiting for you at the finish line. Like the world owes you something just for showing up. It doesn't. It never did. And it never will. You think your boss cares that your alarm didn't go off? That your ankle's sore? That your childhood was hard? That your friend betrayed you? No. They care about the results. They care about the outcome. They care if the job got done, not if you felt like doing it. Life is a scoreboard, not a journal. And when it's game time, they don't ask how you felt in the moment. They ask who won. You keep waiting for someone to see your pain, to understand your situation, to applaud your effort. And I'm here to tell you that applause ain't coming, not until you get up, shut up, and level up. You want respect? Earn it. You want success? Prove it. You want to win? Then fight for it like nobody's coming to save you. Because they're not. You're the answer. You're the hero. You're the one that's got to look at the mountain and say, move, and keep pushing when it doesn't. You can cry, scream, break down in the dark, but when that sun comes up, you better be back on your feet, swinging, hungry, locked in, because the truth is, you either produce or you disappear, and the world will keep spinning with or without you. I remember standing in that hangar, exhausted, shoulder burning from surgery I was still recovering from, watching my team fall apart because of a system that didn't care how hard we worked, only whether the mission got done. I didn't sleep right, my body was off, my mind was foggy, and still, nobody stopped to ask if I was okay, if I needed help, if I had anything left in the tank. And honestly, I used to get mad about that. Real mad. Until I realized something that changed my whole game. Nobody was coming. Nobody was going to carry me across the finish line. No one was going to fight my battle for me. And no one cared how much I wanted success. They only cared if I delivered it. That moment taught me something heavy. Something most people don't want to admit. Your struggle doesn't entitle you to victory. It qualifies you to earn it. I had to stop leaning on my pain like it was a crutch and start using it like a weapon, like fire in my gut, like fuel for my grind. You can only hide behind your circumstances for so long before they become your cage, and I refused to be a prisoner of mine. So I trained, I studied, I showed up early, stayed late, and outworked every excuse that dared show up. That's when I realized I was built different. Not because of the pain, but because of what I chose to do with it. And that choice is waiting for you too, right now, in this moment, in this pain, in this silence. Are you gonna fold or are you gonna rise? Let me ask you something. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and told the truth? Not that watered down version you post on Instagram, not the I'm trying excuse you told your friends. I'm talking about raw, unfiltered, brutal honesty. Are you really giving it your all? Or are you just going through the motions, clocking in, clocking out, living in neutral while calling it hustle? You keep saying you want more, but your actions scream comfort, laziness, fear. You post quotes like, no excuses, but you live a life full of them. You say you want to change your life, but you won't change your habits, won't change your circle, won't even change your bedtime. You want to be great? Then prove it. Because this isn't motivation, this is transformation. And transformation don't happen in convenience. It happens in conflict, in chaos, in those moments where quitting sounds louder than your why. This is where it gets real, where your words stop mattering and your work starts speaking. You say you're built different? Show me, show yourself. Because nobody's clapping for almost, nobody's writing checks for potential. Nobody's following a maybe. Either you're doing it or you're dreaming about it. And dreams without work are just lies you tell yourself to feel better. So yeah, This is your moment, not to be inspired, but to be exposed, to decide whether you're serious or just playing dress up in the costume of ambition. Because results don't lie, and neither does that mirror. They lied to you, plain and simple. They told you to be patient, wait your turn, trust the process, like success was gonna just knock on your door one day because you're a good person with good intentions. Nah, they sold you comfort like it was the goal. They handed you soft dreams wrapped in fear, and you bought in. You ate it up. Now look at you, waiting on motivation to show up like it's Amazon Prime, praying for confidence like it's a gift, sitting in a life you never wanted but somehow settled for. You know why most people never get what they want? Because they've been programmed to avoid discomfort, to seek pleasure, to run from anything that smells like pain, like risk, like sacrifice. They told you to stay safe, stay small, stay realistic, and you believed them. Now you're out here playing life on mute, wondering why nothing feels loud enough to move you. You want to know the truth? Comfort is your enemy. It's the warm blanket that smothers your potential. It's the soft voice telling you tomorrow is fine, next week is okay, someday is coming. It's not. Someday is a myth, a trap, a graveyard for your dreams. Every second you spend sitting in comfort, you're trading your greatness for mediocrity. You're renting your future for the price of fear. This world doesn't reward the comfortable, it rewards the courageous. The crazy ones who bet on themselves when no one else would. The ones who hear the lie and choose to live in truth anyway. And that truth starts now. Let me break it down for you. Plain and clear. The only difference between the people at the top and the people stuck at the bottom is mindset. Not luck, not talent, not even opportunity, but mindset. That gritty, stubborn, relentless belief that no matter what, I will figure it out, I will rise, I will win. Losers wait for a feeling, they wait to feel ready, they wait for a perfect moment that never shows up, they wait for permission, for applause, for someone to validate their effort. Winners don't wait. They wake up angry at average. They wake up chasing a ghost version of themselves they still haven't caught. They build discipline brick by brick, even when it's boring, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. See, motivation is hype. It's sugar. It tastes good, but crashes fast. But discipline is the meat, the muscle, the thing that keeps you grinding when the lights are off, when nobody's watching, when it's just you, your goals, and your pain. And here's the truth. Most folks don't want to admit, the moment you decide to stop reacting to life and start controlling how you show up, everything changes. Life ain't fair, but your mindset can be. You control your grind, your choices, your habits. And every day you don't take control, life will make the decision for you. So I gotta ask, are you building the muscle of winners? Or are you sitting in the softness of excuses? Here's where it gets wild. Your whole life could change. Right now, if you just shift the way you see what's in front of you, not next week, not after that course, not once the stars align, but now, right now. What if failure ain't failure? What if it's just data, just feedback, just the blueprint to your breakthrough, waiting to be read? Most people look at failure like it's a dead end, like it's proof they're not enough, like it's a reason to stop. But winners flip that script. They see every loss as a lesson, every no as a not yet, every breakdown as a setup for something better. You keep asking, why is this happening to me? Switch it. Why is this happening for me? Because that question right there, that's the portal. That's the moment your pain turns into power. That's when the fog lifts, and suddenly you're not a victim. You're a builder. You're an architect of growth. and your struggle becomes a chapter in your playbook, not your obituary. It's not about what happens. It's about how you frame what happens. And the frame you use decides whether you shrink or stand taller. Some of y'all are praying for an exit when God's giving you an entrance into the version of you that don't fold, don't quit, don't need perfect to show up powerful. So today, I dare you to see different, think different, and then move different, because how you see it will decide how you survive it, or if you even thrive through it. You want to know why most people stay stuck, trapped, locked in the same loop year after year, frustrated, bitter, tired of the noise, but scared of the silence? It's because they built their life around chains they can't even see, invisible rules, imaginary ceilings, beliefs that were handed down by people who gave up on their own dreams. Somewhere along the line, somebody told you to play it safe, to be grateful for just enough, to stop reaching, to stop trying, because they didn't have the heart to go after their next level. So they clipped your wings to make their fear feel justified. You think you're stuck because you're not talented enough, smart enough, rich enough, but that's not it. You're stuck because your mindset's in a chokehold, and you don't even realize you've been playing defense in a game that demands offense. Every excuse you use, every story you repeat, every "I can't" because you whisper when things get hard. That's your prison. And the only key is radical responsibility. But here's the wildest part. Freedom is always one bold move away, one uncomfortable conversation, one yes you said instead of hiding. One time you kept going when quitting was easier. Look at the people who changed everything. They weren't born special. They just got tired of being stuck, tired of surviving, tired of shrinking. And they did the one thing you've been scared to do. They moved. The question is, when will you? You ain't losing because you're weak. You're losing because your emotions run your life. Your mood controls your moves. And that's why you're inconsistent, undisciplined, stuck in cycles you swear you want to break, but can't. One bad comment, one unexpected bill, one rough day at work, and you spiral, you shut down, you make decisions out of fear, out of pain, out of anger, and then you wonder why your life feels like a mess. Listen, emotions aren't the problem. You're human. You're supposed to feel. The problem is you never learned how to manage what you feel. Winners don't ignore emotions. They harness them. They take the chaos, the doubt, the rage, and they turn it into fuel, into clarity, into action. While everybody else is out here reacting, popping off, shutting down, blaming others, the ones who are built different stay composed, focused, surgical. They don't let outside noise dictate inside peace. They don't chase feelings, they chase results. You want to level up? Get control of your emotional thermostat. Stop letting outside heat change your internal climate. When pressure rises, slow your breath, command your thoughts, remember your mission, and then move. That's the shift, that's the edge, that's what separates warriors from worriers, champions from complainers. You don't need to feel amazing every day. You just need to be dangerous, regardless of how you feel. Let's get all the way honest. Most of y'all avoid the mirror because you're scared of what you'll see. Scared to admit the truth you already know, that you've been coasting, hiding, pretending you're grinding when really, you're just busy being busy. But if you want to win, like truly win, you gotta get ruthless with yourself. No more sugarcoating, no more soft talk, just straight facts. What are you really doing every day? What time are you waking up? What are you feeding your mind? What are you doing when no one's watching? Because that's the difference maker. Not your dreams, not your prayers, your habits. The scoreboard doesn't care about your intentions. It tracks your execution. And if your execution is sloppy, so is your life. You want clarity? Start tracking yourself. I'm talking write it down. Every win, Every L, every missed opportunity, every excuse you told yourself to justify slacking. Get a journal, a whiteboard, an accountability partner, whatever it takes, but stop living in denial. Winners don't just hope they're improving, they know because they measure it, they study it, they sharpen it every single day. Stop lying to yourself like you're trying when what you're doing is surviving, maintaining, coasting. Execution eats potential for breakfast, and until you start holding yourself accountable like your life depends on it, you'll keep wondering why nothing changes. Because without self-assessment, there is no self-mastery. Half effort is a disease, and most of y'all are infected, walking around acting like you want it, but moving like you're scared to lose. You post the quotes, buy the books, wear the hoodie that says grind, but when it's time to go all in, you flinch, you hesitate, you shrink back into safety, into mediocrity, into that lukewarm lane where nobody wins. Listen, you don't get championship results with part-time effort. You don't build a legacy doing just enough. Playing small ain't humble, it's selfish, it's disrespectful to your potential, and it robs the world of the gift you're supposed to become. You got ideas? Execute them. You got dreams? Chase them like your rent depends on it, because one day it will. You don't need more inspiration. You need a decision, a moment where you say, I'm done dipping my toe in the water, I'm diving in, head first, no life jacket, no safety net. That's how the greats did it. They burned the plan B, they went all in on themselves, and they made the world adjust. You think Kobe played small? You think Beyonce halfway practiced? You think Nipsey didn't go all in on every brick he laid? Stop talking like a boss and moving like an intern. If you want big rewards, you gotta take big risks. And that means showing up every day like your name's already in lights, like the throne's already yours. You just haven't claimed it yet. So, are you ready to stop playing small? Mental toughness ain't born, it's built. And most people don't have it because they've never been tested long enough to grow it. They tap out too quick, fold under pressure, let life punk them into playing soft. You want to be built different? Then you got to get real familiar with discomfort. You got to make struggle your training partner, pain your professor, and rejection your fuel. Everybody wants the crown, but nobody wants the crawl. Nobody wants to bleed in private, sweat in silence, grind while being overlooked, talked about, doubted. But that's where the toughness is built, in the lonely seasons, in the losses that no one claps for, in the reps you do when nobody's counting. The greats didn't get strong because life was easy. They got strong because they outlasted everything trying to break them. They didn't get soft when it rained. They ran faster. Look at David Goggins, Inky Johnson, even Tom Brady. Different fields, same mindset. They refused to stay down. You got to develop that bounce back and that grit, that internal switch that flips when most people fold. Because mental toughness isn't about ignoring emotion. It's about choosing your mission over your mood, your vision over your vibe, your destiny over your discomfort. You'll never outgrow adversity, but you can out-tough it, outwork it, outlast it. The question is, when life hits back, do you crumble or do you lean in? Here's the truth that separates the almost greats from the all-time legends. They move with a no matter what mentality. Not just when it's sunny, not just when they feel like it, but every single day. Rain or shine, broke or ballin', tired or energized, because they decided that quitting ain't an option, and excuses are beneath them. You keep asking, how do I stay consistent? The answer's simple. Make the decision once and never ask it again. That's it. That's the cheat code. Winners don't negotiate with their goals. They don't check the weather before they grind. They don't need a hype man to show up. They show up for themselves. You want different results? Then move different. Your talent means nothing if your drive is weak. Your ambition means nothing if your execution is shaky. And your potential means nothing if you're not willing to bleed for the outcome. No matter what means waking up at 4 a.m. when your body says no, saying no to comfort when it whispers yes, locking in on the vision when distractions are throwing parties in your face. Everybody's got a reason why they can't, but the elite, they build reasons why they will. You want to be unshakable? Then stop asking for permission to be great. Stop depending on motivation to carry you, and start building that fire that burns regardless. No matter what happens, I finish, I deliver, I dominate, period. Pressure ain't your enemy. It's your invitation, your test, your proving ground. And the problem is, most people run from it instead of rising through it. You feel that tension? That's the price of growth. The weight of responsibility trying to mold you into the version of you that can actually handle the life you say you want. Everybody wants success until they feel the pressure that success requires. The pressure to show up even when you're drained. The pressure to lead when you feel lost. The pressure to stay locked in when life is trying to knock you off track. But here's the thing, pressure isn't meant to break you. It's meant to build you, like weights in the gym, like friction sharpening a blade, like fire turning coal into diamonds. You don't grow by avoiding pressure. You grow by facing it head on, by standing still in the middle of the storm and saying, let's go. Look at anyone who ever did something great. They didn't crumble. They leaned in. They adapted. They adjusted. And they kept swinging when everything in them said quit. That's how you handle pressure like a winner, not by being fearless, but by being committed. So committed that fear doesn't even get a vote. You want to win? Then stop fearing the weight and start training for it. Carry it, lift it, own it. Because pressure doesn't crush champions, it reveals them. Let's talk about the real trap. Not your haters, not your past, not your environment, but the beliefs you built in your own head. The stories you keep telling yourself that chain you to the same spot. I'm not smart enough. I'm too late. I wasn't born into the right family. I've already failed too much. Lies. Every last one of them. Dressed up in fake wisdom and soaked in fear. You weren't born doubting yourself. You learned that from a parent who gave up, from a teacher who labeled you, from a system that boxed you in. And now you walk around like those beliefs are facts, but they're not. They're just ideas you agreed with too many times. Let me say this loud. You are not your limitation. You are the person who chooses whether they live or die. You want to break free? Start questioning everything. Why do I believe this? Who told me that? What if they were wrong? Because chances are, they were. You've been living inside a cage with the door wide open. And all it takes is one step, one bold act of defiance, one decision to reprogram that mindset. Here's how you start. Write down every limiting belief you've got, then write the opposite. Read it daily. Repeat it until your brain forgets the lie and memorizes the truth. That's how you destroy the limits they put on you. That's how you rewrite the code. That's how you unlock the version of you they never saw coming. Fear ain't real. It's a story. A movie your mind plays when it don't have enough facts. Just assumptions. Just echoes of failure you haven't even experienced yet. And doubt? Doubt is fear's little brother, whispering in your ear that maybe you're not ready, maybe you're not built for this, maybe you're not the one. But let me tell you something, fear and doubt only grow in silence, in stillness, in hesitation. The moment you move, the moment you take that first step, they shrink, the lights come on, the shadows fade, and you realize that monster in your mind was made of paper, not steel. Look, every winner you admire felt fear. Every legend you respect doubted themselves. But they didn't let those feelings decide for them. They acted anyway, through the fear, not around it. That's the game. It's not about becoming fearless. It's about becoming fear-proof, knowing the fear is there, and still walking forward like your life depends on it, because it does. You've got to stop waiting to feel brave and start practicing bravery through action. The only cure for fear is proof. And the only way to get proof is to do the thing. Speak when your voice shakes. Lead when your knees wobble. Show up when your doubt screams louder than your purpose. Because on the other side of fear, there's freedom, there's growth, there's that life you keep saying you want. So what are you still waiting for? Failure ain't the end, it's the entrance. The doorway you keep avoiding because you thought winning meant getting it right the first time. But it never does. Every person you look up to, every success story you repost, every quote you screenshot was built on losses, stacked on setbacks, covered in scars. Failure is part of the blueprint, not the breakdown. But here's where most people get it twisted. They treat failure like it's personal, like it means something about who they are, instead of what they still need to learn. You fail a test, study harder. You launch a business and it flops, adjust. You lose a relationship, reflect. You don't lose unless you quit. Built different means you take the hit, you take the L, you take the embarrassment, and then you come back wiser, sharper, hungrier. You stop seeing failure as a red light and start treating it like a speed bump. Slow down, learn, then keep it moving. Think about it. You've never grown from perfection. You've only grown from pain, from pressure, from messing up and figuring it out. That's the real win. Not looking flawless, but becoming fearless. So when you fall, and you will, don't pout, don't hide, don't throw away the mission, study the film, fix the gap, and reload. Failure ain't your enemy. It's your invitation to level up again and again until nothing can stop you. All right, this is the part where most people tap out. They hear all the truth, all the fire, all the facts, and still go back to living the same weak version of themselves, still choosing comfort over calling, delay over decision, fear over freedom. But not you, right? Not today, because if you've made it this far, there's something in you screaming to break out, something wild, something real, something that's been dying to show the world what you're actually made of. So here's the deal. No more excuses, no more I'm thinking about it, no more I'll start Monday, no more waiting on life to hand you something it never promised. What will you do today? Not next week, not when you feel ready, not when it's easier. Today. Will you sign up for the class? Will you call the mentor? Will you wake up an hour earlier? Will you finally commit to the process instead of fantasizing about the outcome? Because motion creates momentum, and momentum creates transformation. But it all starts with you. Right now, decide who you want to be, and then do something, anything, that proves that decision matters. The old you, that version don't exist anymore. Not if you truly want what you say you do. Today is your line in the sand. Your shot at rewriting everything. So what's it gonna be? Still making excuses or finally making moves? One decision, that's all it takes. Not 10, not 20, one. One decision can shift the entire trajectory of your life, launch a new chapter, burn the old blueprint, and send you sprinting toward the version of you that's been buried under doubt, delay, and distraction. And don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about a perfect decision. I'm talking about a powerful one. The kind you make with your chest out, your soul on fire, and your mind locked in. Some of y'all keep thinking change is about doing 1,000 things, but no. It starts with one choice done relentlessly. You know how addicts get clean? One decision. You know how legends get born? One decision. You know how the tide finally turns in your life? One decision. It's not flashy, it's not loud, It's not sexy, but it's everything. The problem is, most people flirt with decisions. They entertain ideas, they date potential, but they never marry the moment. Never lock in and say, this is it, no turning back. You want to be built different? Then move like it, think like it, decide like it, make the call, cut the safety net, draw the line, because when you truly decide, the world shifts, the path clears, the fire ignites, and your old self, that version starts to panic because it knows it just got replaced by a savage on a mission. One decision, and you're never the same. You keep waiting for the perfect moment, like success is gonna send you an invite with gold lettering and a countdown timer. Like one day the stars will line up, the bank account will be full, the schedule will clear, and boom, you'll finally be ready. That moment, it ain't coming. The perfect time is a lie, a fantasy your comfort zone created to keep you on the couch, scrolling, dreaming, doubting, doing nothing. Real champions don't wait, they create the moment, they step into the chaos, the mess, the confusion, and they make something out of it anyway. You think the legends waited until they had it all figured out? Nah, they moved while it was still messy, still scary, still risky, because they knew that momentum favors the bold, not the patient. You're out here checking horoscopes, praying for signs, asking everybody else what you should do, when deep down, you already know the move, you've known, you're just scared to take it without guarantees, without applause, without backup. But here's the truth. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll wait forever. And that dream will rot inside you while you keep saying, maybe later. So no more delays, no more mental negotiations, no more waiting. Decide now, move now, act now. Because while you're hesitating, someone else is executing, and they're taking your spot, your opportunity, your win. Move or get left behind. You keep thinking being built different is some kind of blessing. Like certain people were just born with something you don't have. Like greatness got handed out in secret, and your name wasn't on the list. Nah, let me crush that myth real quick. Being built different ain't a gift. It's a choice. A brutal, bold, everyday choice to go left when the crowd goes right. To grind when others chill. To push when others pause. To show up like your life depends on it. Because it does. The only difference between those who rise and those who rot is the decision to move different. Think different. Execute different. That's it. No magic, no luck, no secret formula, just commitment on repeat. You don't need permission. You don't need the stars to align. You don't need someone to come save you. What you need is to look in the mirror and finally admit you've been playing small, living soft, letting life happen to you instead of building life through you. This isn't about being chosen, it's about choosing to become the person who doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't fade when it gets real. Some people wait, some people wish, but the ones who win, they work, they move, they decide. So, here's your final question. Are you gonna keep talking about being different, or are you finally gonna be it? Remember what I told you at the start? Nobody cares about your excuses. They care about your execution, your results, your follow-through. That truth hasn't changed. It never will, but now you're different. Now you can't pretend you don't know anymore. Now you've been called out, challenged, pushed. You've been handed the mirror, the blueprint, the raw facts, and what you do with it from here. That's all on you. You either rise or you retreat. You either go build or you go back. But there's no middle ground anymore. No fence to sit on. No safe zone to hide in. This world will keep spinning whether you step up or not. But your world, your legacy, your destiny, that's still unwritten. And every day you delay, it fades. You were built for more, built to break curses, to rewrite stories, to shatter the lies that kept your family small, scared, silent. So stop doubting, stop waiting, Stop talking, lock in, tap in, turn that pain into purpose, that struggle into strategy, that anger into action. From this point forward, there's no more room for the old you, only space for the version that don't fold, don't flinch, don't fail, because failure ain't even in your vocabulary anymore. You're not chasing greatness, you're becoming it, right now, today. Built Different wasn't a slogan, it was your wake-up call. And now that you're awake, don't you dare go back to sleep. I want to thank you for showing up, for staying in this with me till the end, for letting the fire hit your chest and still choosing to breathe through it, move through it, fight through it, because that's what this is all about. Not just talk, not just hype, but transformation. You felt that, didn't you? That pull, that shift, that gut check that said you were meant for more, because you are. This ain't just about one episode, one message, one Monday. It's about building a movement, a community of warriors who don't just survive, they evolve, they elevate, they dominate. That's what Zen Ryoku is. That's what Built Different Wednesdays are for, to remind you that you're not alone in this grind, in this war, in this mission. We're a tribe of believers, not in fairy tales, but in fire-tested truth, in the grind, in the scars that turned us savage, in the goals that still keep us up at night. So here's the next step. Don't just feel this. Share this, live this, drop a comment, tag your crew, join the Peak Society, step deeper into the family that refuses to let each other fall. We're here to build empires out of ashes, to turn breakdowns into breakthroughs, and to wake up a generation that forgot what it meant to be hungry. I love y'all. I see y'all. Now go make this week beg for mercy. Built Different ain't just what we are. It's what we prove every single day. Let's get it.